Hey everyone, it's Marco from Booraz Audio. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to our first sound design basics clip. If you have by any chance attended our live sampling session, you maybe already know that we have sampled some common things that you can find around the house and inside your house, like pretty much everyday objects that you can find in one's shed or kitchen or anywhere around. We will try and show you today some of the basic sound design principles that you can use for making your own sounds every day. That's the super nice way for you first to save money from buying all kinds of super expensive sound design toolkits and the libraries. Second, it really helps you stand out in the crowd. Like when you create those samples, you are the only one who has those, and quite possibly no one has ever heard anything similar before, so why not have it? We will try to make these clips as regular as we possibly can. If you don't have this sample pack, you can obtain it by finding the link under this clip. You can also subscribe to this channel if you want to keep in touch. You don't have to. We are not all about that. We're not about getting the following. Also, you can find a bunch of free samples on our website, boorazaudio.com, so feel free to jump in and get a bunch of free stuff. Let's dig in. So here's what we got here. First of all, I must apologize to all people who have attended our first live streaming session. I said that I'm gonna post this thing first thing on Sunday, but in all honesty, since I never had done any of this before, this YouTube thing, I needed to learn first how to set up everything here so I can record this sound, and you guys can hear the sound from the Cubase and see it on camera. So I hope I did it right. Anyway, you can always give me tips and advices in the comments. I'm not the video guy. I really don't know much about it. But enough about that. What I did here, I pulled in all samples from the last session, and I was listening around what I can use to make some basic sound design. I will keep those here in this folder just in case we get some more ideas while we work on this. What I wanted to make here is basically a basic hit. For those of you who may not know what a hit is pretty much the base thing that you will find in trailer music and the action production music. It's a thing that you can hear in many trailers, like things that punches out and pierces through the mix and kinda gives the editors a nice syncing point so they can sync image to audio or other way around. You can find a bunch of great hits out there, but I'll try to teach you how to create your own. So let's start. I choose bucket hit 1 sample. It's basically me hitting I think metal bucket with a stick or a mallet. I'm not even sure right now, but it sounds like this. As you can hear, it's a pretty straightforward sample. It has a nice sustain. It has a transient, basically everything that you will need to build the proper hit. Now, what I'm about to show you here now is basically true basics, like bare bone basics and the bread and butter of every sound designer, whether if sound designer is a pro or just a beginner. It all starts with this. Let's analyze this sample first and see what we got here. It's actually pretty even, but what we want with hit is like in every pretty much every percussive element. You will try to get a proper bottom and a proper uh, uh, kick point in the high mids or mids in general. Like if you're processing a kick drum, you will probably boost it around 50 to 70 hertz, make some dips around 500 hertz, and then try to find that clicking sweet spot around 2 to up to a 10k. So it's all a matter of taste. There are no rights or wrongs. You cannot do anything wrong. It's a sound design, and with saying that, I really mean that you're free to do anything you want. Like most of the standards that we are hearing today are basically some guy doing whatever the fuck he wanted and getting a great result, and now we have to follow his or her footsteps because it just sounded great. So let's hear it one more time. Now, what I want here is that nice bottom. So these are two plugins that are basically pure bass center of every sound designer's toolkit. It's a bass harmonizer, is going to be a saturator, drive, and the multi-band compression. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just use a few of those and not complicate anything too much for you, so you can do it really easy yourself. What I'm using here is a Renaissance bass or R bass mono from Waves. That's basically bass harmonizer. You can use it will help me get that mass in the lower frequencies. You can use any similar tool or the multi-band compressor, or there are tons of tools out there. You don't have to depend on those, but I do recommend this plugin. We can start off with a pretty basic preset. Let's hear it without it. Now let's put it in. I'm hoping that you are able to hear this big bottom here. You can see here too that we have a bit of a spike there. Let's keep it. Actually, let's keep it like this. It sounds pretty okay, like straight from the box. Now, what we want to do here is basically maybe EQ this thing a bit, just like we would with a kick drum or something that requires top and bottom, like heavy top and the clicky bottom. Heavy other way around, sorry. Heavy bottom and the clicky top. Let's hear it one more time. I just gave it a bit of a boost around 60 hertz. Let's see if we can find some click. I actually like to do extremes here because I want to hear it super loud first, so I can really distinguish it later. It's just my way of working. You don't have to do it this way. I think around 4K is gonna sound cool. And one more thing that I noticed is, I don't know if you guys hear it, but it seems to be there's some ring out around one. Let's hear it. Yes, something. Let's cut into that. We don't want that. There. And now the next plugin I want to use is the over-the-top compressor. It's made by Xfer, and it's both loved and hated by the community. I love it personally. I don't say that you should love it or hate it. It's a simple matter of taste. But it's my opinion also that most of the people don't understand this plugin and are using it in probably the wrong way. Because when you put it on your channel out of the box, you get this. You get huge noise floor, you get really smashed and overcompressed thing, and what's the catch here? It's about depth and upward and downward compression, plus multi-band control, and we will talk about all these things in detail later. But what I can show you now are basically two cheat sheet setups that I'm using all the time. Let's say that this is a drum bus or a percussive bus, then I would put this thing at 25% and then just tweak the multiband. Maybe we will not need this. So, this is a super mild thing that we're doing here, and this is something that I would do if this was a percussion bus, but it's not. Since it's a single hit, I'll do something like this. I will bring this to, let's say, like that, and then have a listen. You can hear it smashing. Smashing through the mix. Now let's work a bit more on that low end. What I'm doing now is basically doing a low cut, super low frequencies, because I want to have that tight low end but reduce the rumble. Now that starts to sound like some type of a metallic hit. Next thing that you will probably do with this type of stuff is have some kind of effects coloring here. I'm using Valhalla DSP reverbs. I high passed it. Really, I mean, I usually do around 1 kilo because I really don't want that reverb because in the low frequencies. It just creates mud. And right here, I'm using a bit of a feedback, bit less of a mix. Also low cut, size. You can mess with this however you want, but you want to use this reverb to just give this thing a bit of that metallic tail, like this. See, you can probably hear it. Now, I don't want to take this thing to be hours long, but what I would do next here is probably try and find some organic punchy thing like a kick drum or a floor tom drum, raw sample as raw as I can get it, and probably layer it with this one. These metallic things are always good for coloring your hits, so you can have specific hits for specific use. Why would I layer this with a floor tom or the kick drum? Because I will get this punchy bottom without having to force this much low end in this one. So when you're creating your hits or booms, try and use samples that are compatible around each other, or they fit well together. That's the key of nice sound design. Also, combining multiple sources that will talk well to each other. Yes, I know it's a pain in the ass, but you'll have to listen to tons of samples and probably memorize tons of shit in your head, because in my sample palette I basically know right now probably hundreds of samples that I know how they sound when I see the name, and I know how to combine them in advance, or what type of saturation to use, or the drive to make them sound really dope. So that's it. It's about freedom, but it's also about training your ear to hear the source and to know how to get to proper goal. Okay, let's make let's make a few more fun things. Like, let's use this hit here. Just copy it and make a wash hit. What you can do, and I will just use the same channel, I don't care. I'll move the samples here. What you can do now, for starter, you can duplicate this thing one more time. Cut it up a bit like this, make it a bit shorter. And then use the oldest cheat of them all, reverse. Now what will happen here is we will have two samples playing into each other, and then just use some magic like this to blend them. Let's put it a bit more here. Let's try and do this like this, and add one more layer here. I want to hear that pop. What I'm importing here are basically our own samples. These are from our drum kit that is available on our website boorazaudio.com as a free product. So again, feel free to get there and download some of these, because they sound great. They're super raw. You can tune them however you want. And that should do it. And you can pretty much make the exactly same thing that I'm doing here right now. Let's just align this a bit here. Let's hear it on its own. Like this. None of these will sound as much when you first start using them. You will notice that I'm basically trying to use only stock stuff here. So there is no fancy EQ happening here. I have all kinds of fancy EQs, but I don't want to use them. I want to use as basic plugins as I can. I mean, we can try and use some of the other free plugins that I have in store, and you can find full list of those plugins in one of the blog posts on our website. I really forgot the name now, but I will post that blog link under this video so you can find it. basically there is a free alternative for every single of the plugins that you see people using. So if you are just starting out, if you're a young composer just trying to learn the skill, you don't need to spend gazillion dollars getting the gear first, because that will not improve your skill. Your skill is going to be improved by practicing this thing every day, and after a while you'll be able to get the results you want, even if somebody gives you a completely blank DAW with no single plugin in there. You'll be able to know and to use stocks and free stuff that you can find on the internet. Let's do this again. I'm doing this because it's free. You see. What I'm doing now, I'm basically playing around to see what I'm going to get. There's that little hum. In normal conditions we will sort it out with a gate, but we really don't need this one to play as long as it wants. We just want that first transient to kick in. Let's align it a bit more. Because I think it's flaming a bit. That's much better. Let's take it down a notch. I mean, it's a rough work, but you can see my point, I'm hoping. Let's see how punchy it is now comparing to this one. There. What we can also do here is try and play around with other samples like this one. Popular thing to do with these whooshes is to really spice them up. Again, let's play a bit of an old trick here. But now, let's do something even more fun. Let's process this one. First, let's pitch shift it. Like this, maybe? Cool. We'll take this tail away. Then we can copy it here. And then again, let's try this. You can already hear the drama coming up. This one is not that so consequential as much as this one. Maybe we don't even need this one because this intro thing is really good enough for me. Something like that. And of course what we can do in this channel too is give it a bit of space. A bit of a high pass. Even shorter. So you can see that there are basically endless possibilities with layering this or that. When we add pings or on things like that. Let's try this. You can hear that nice ring out. You can also play around with things like this. Let's put some verb on it. Now we're just playing. I want to show you like why the my monitor is shutting off for some reason. Well, thank you. Why the pitch shifter and the saturation is your great friend here. I'll just do something like this and copy this for another 2 rounds. Maybe repeat this one here and then maybe repeat this one here. And again, I'm using the stock pitch shifter. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be any pitch shifter that you can get your hands on. You see where it goes. Everything will, it almost starts to sound like a truck. You just let your imagination go and let your sound design sing for you. I mean, the possibilities are literally endless. We can also make it a bit more interesting here with one of my favorite tools again from Sound Toys. It's called Echo Boy. Let's do 1/8 and maybe 1/4. We'll bring this down until we see what's up, what's what. Something like this. You can have the dragging, like it at this point is going to be a bit late. Now, let's do something really fun. I wanted to do this from the old beginning of this video. And it's basically process some of those nice textures and things we got from the hair dryer. Let's see where are those textures. Ah, here they are. So let's take this one, paste it in here. Let's take another one like this. No. Maybe this one is better for this. Yeah. Let's give it a paste there. And it's all about having fun and playing around. I mean, you must know that I'm super lazy now and I'm trying to show you as many things as I can. That's why I'm using the same verb on everything. But you're a smart guy, so you'll figure that out for yourself. Can actually blend these two. Or maybe something like this, and then we can crossfade. I don't know how these sound, I'm just playing around to see what I'm gonna get. Okay, that would be some really weird sound design, the reverse type of thing. But what I want to show for the end of this thing is basically how can you make your own riser from the stupidest thing that you can find in your apartment and sample it. Let me get, let's say, hair dryer high. This thing in here is really my fiance's hair dryer, and we just recorded it here in the live session. You can check it out. We also recorded it in the first and the second speed. In the second speed, it sounds like pitch is going up because the propeller heads are moving much faster, blades, and we also sampled the hand drill. That also sounds awesome. It's super gritty. Is sound design ready? Now you can hear that there's one consistent type of tone, which is basically something that is insanely adequate for a riser. What you want to do here is make some room for it. what I love to do is actually emphasize the main harmonic, which is something around 280 here. We can give it a bit more saturation. My computer went crazy. And then what we can do is base of every riser is make it rise. Now what I'm gonna do is completely idiotic, but I'm still making risers this way. I'm using synth a lot. I'm using layered sounds, and usually I layer several sounds before I make a final riser, but as I said several times, I want this to be a quick thing, so you don't have to sit through hours of me doing this thing. I will revert to every single one of these videos again and talk about all of these things in depth. This is basically just a first introduction sound design basic video, so you don't have to fear about missing anything here. I'll go full octave here in transpose mode in the pitch shifter. Then I will go to envelope here and adjust from where to where is it going to rise. From top to bottom it was applied, and then I'll just basically fade it a bit. Maybe I will do this in advance because we all know I love this one. I'll just give it a quick turn here and see what happens. You see, it's crude as fuck, but you see my point. What most people would do here is layer this thing with one more thing, or possibly make a collection of sounds here first before applying this processing thing, and you can play around with that too. But like I said before, it's a sound design. There are no rules. If you like this type of riser and you find it useful for a project, dude, use it by all means, by all fucking means. Don't let anyone tell you, that is wrong, that's not how you make a riser. There's no such thing as proper way to make any sound design. You know, you're not making a Foley, you're not making the sound of this shirt being rubbed. It doesn't have to connect your brain to a sound that it expects. Like when I hit this bell, if it starts sounding like, I don't know, raining, I will get brain freeze because I expect it to sound like ringing because I know that sound. Right? Who the fuck knows the sound of the riser? You just need something to rise. You need the riser to fit harmonically with your track. Whatever you use, it's your thing. As you can see, it actually kinda works already, even if it's a super fast made Frankenstein of a riser. You can try and get it in here. do something like this, like really, really quick. It's something. Long story short, I hope you enjoyed this uh, rudimentary basic video. I tried to do this as fast as I can, and I see on my clock that it is running quite long, longer than I expected. I hope you learned something from it. I also hope that you will ask questions, post comments, reach out if you want. You can find me really easy on Facebook, and of course, do subscribe or sign up for the mailing list, whatever is easier for you, because we will probably start putting out these weekly and have articles accompanying all this, because we really want to transfer all these things that really helped us and me. By us I mean the company and me in life, from get from like having nothing and using stock plugins and hitting my old grandma's pots in this kitchen in this house, to actually being able to produce sound design which is viable and useful for actual Hollywood trailer. So stay tuned. Cheers.